Hey everybody, today we're talking about A Quiet Place, the 2018 suspense thriller alien
Mm-hmm.
dystopian release that really caught the attention of a lot of people. Quickly from Wikipedia, the storyline says the plot revolves around a mother and father who struggle to survive and raise their children in a post apocalyptic world inhabited by blind extraterrestrial creatures with an acute sense of hearing. And we really only
Mm.
have four main stars here.
Mm-hmm.
Emily Blunt, who I must say does an amazing job in this
Amazing.
movie. John Krasinski, who also did an amazing job.
Amazing.
And they're also amazing children,
Yes.
Millicent Simmonds and Noah Jupe.
Mm-hmm. Oh, they didn't even mention the little one, huh? He wasn't in there long enough.
Well, his name is Cade Woodward.
Oh, okay. Look, Kate.
Little Cade. All right, so the movie opens and they are quick to tell us that this is day 89. Day 89 of what? We don't know yet.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a small family, parents and three children, who are scavenging a pharmacy looking for medication and supplies. And the mom seems to know what she's looking for and is trying to help her son, who appears to be sick, while the others are roaming throughout the store. Mind you, they're all barefoot
Mm-hmm.
and no one is talking.
Right. They're tiptoeing around like they're not supposed to be there, really, but you don't know why they're tiptoeing around. I did notice that, the girl has a hearing aid, but it seems like she can't hear though. So I don't know, if it's working or what, but they use sign language too to talk to the family.
Mm-hmm.
So the little one is he's a little kid, so they're trying to keep quiet. He's running through the store, um, looking at stuff, about to drop things. He finds a little toy rocket that he wants to play with, and the sister, I think, or somebody, he has it, and somebody takes it. I think one of his parents, right?
Yes, the sister gives it to him, and when they walk up to the parents, the father takes it away.
Okay, and he says it's too loud, puts it down on the counter, and then the parents walk out the store.
Yep.
So the parents walk out. The girl is still there. What is the girl? Maybe 13?
Yeah, that sounds about right.
The girl is still in there with the little one, and she picks up the rocket, takes out the batteries, and gives it to him. And he's happy, excited. And she walks out the store. So the little one, he's excited, got his rocket. He's like, wait a minute, I need these batteries. So he picks up the batteries and takes them with him. And I'm like, what's happening? Why are y'all walking out and leaving this baby in the store by himself?
4-year-old.
Did you think that when you were watching?
And they are letting him be the tail end of their
tail end. I didn't.
Nobody had an eye on him.
Nobody. He in the back of the line. The
smallest one.
Okay.
Now, after they leave the store, we see the family walking through the woods with the father first, then the mom, then the little girl, or the 13-year-old girl. The sick boy, I believe, is being carried by the dad. And the 4-year-old, as we said, is the tail end of this little caravan. And everybody's walking quietly, no shoes on, remember. And out the blue, we hear the sound of a toy rocket. And the deaf girl doesn't know what's going on, but she sees her parents stop and turn around and look at the little boy. The father puts down the oldest son and starts running towards the baby.
Running. Scared for his life.
And at this point, we don't know what's going on. If this is your first time watching the movie, you don't know what's about to happen, but you know it's not good.
Right.
And the father takes off running as fast as he can. And right before he gets to the little boy, he sees a monster coming through the woods after the little boy because of the sounds he just made. and he can't get there in time. And even if he could, I don't think he could have done
Right?
anything.
No.
The boy gets snatched away by the
Snatched up.
monster.
Quick.
And the scene goes black.
Goes black. So when the movie comes back, we're at day 472. And you see them at their house. They have all these cameras set up. There's newspaper clippings of death tolls around the world, survival advice, and the dad has all this equipment, and he's trying to get a signal out, to contact, I guess, to see who else is still alive out here. And we see then that mom is pregnant.
Mom is pregnant, y'all.
Mom is pregnant. So the first thought that runs through my mind is, did this happen before or after? Like, when did this happen?
This is day 472.
It's day 472.
So she got pregnant after the monster showed up.
After the monster showed up. I'm like,
after the son died.
What kind of... I just don't... I don't understand it.
Me either.
So... yeah.
What are we doing here?
What are we doing? If you can't keep a little kid quiet,
how you gonna keep a baby quiet?
How you gonna keep a baby quiet?
How you gonna have a baby quietly?
Right. All these thoughts just go through your mind. You like, why in the world is she pregnant? I mean, I'm guessing it was an accident, but
it's hard to tell.
There's no way to know, because part of you can think, hey, maybe they trying to replace their baby that they lost.
Yeah.
But there's no way to know. But it's shocking, to see.
Ridiculous.
Ridiculous. That mom is pregnant. So anyway, I was trying to do some math, and I was like, hold up now. So they're about to have dinner, and they pray over it. The kids are playing Monopoly, and they accidentally knock over a lantern. And so Dad puts out the fire.
With fear in his eyes.
Fear and trembling.
The kids and the parents are once again terrified for their entire lives.
Right.
Over this fire, which you would think, yeah, we're scared of the fire, but no, they're scared of the creatures.
Exactly.
Who would be drawn to the sound of the fire.
And them trying to put it out, right?
Yep.
And so, and you hear this loud noise, this loud crash, and you're thinking, oh, here they come. And so Dad goes to check it out, and thankfully it's just raccoons.
But the raccoons aren't too smart, because the monster sure enough got them.
Didn't it?
Sure did.
They're going to have to learn how to be quiet too out here. So they have a note on the wall that tells us that the creatures are blind and attracted to sound. So we're finding this out, we're finding this out just by watching them, but they also have these, all these different notices up, I guess, who's going to forget, but.
Right. And that they also have an armor to protect them.
Oh, you see, I think I missed that.
Oh, yeah.
They do. That's why okay, we'll get there. So Dad's beard is grown out. He's looking worn and tired, and it's the stress of this life. Because my thought is this even worth doing?
Exactly. And I don't think I could do it, because they are moving too quietly.
Listen,
somebody would have spooked me, and I would have screamed and been gone, y'all.
It would have been, we always say, I can't survive the apocalypse. They would have been got me. Look, just like you say, just accident. I trip, fall, something.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, ain't no way. I'm like, you can't live forever. That's what I say, So, hey, look. Sometimes you gotta go. Okay. So the next day, we see a calendar with the mom's due date, which is in a couple of weeks. And we're still wondering how they're going to pull this off. How is she going to have this baby without making all kinds of noise? So, and then the daughter, who we know is deaf, she has partial hearing, but I guess they can't, her hearing aid doesn't work. But she just roams around the property by herself.
Unrealistically.
Because if she can't hear herself make noise, I mean, even footsteps, you know, then how can she protect herself? How can she make sure she's quiet? She can't.
Yep.
Not in the real world anyway. So, but
exactly.
Yet, you know, and I'm not trying to say they not good parents, but you know, we saw what happened with the boy being at the back of the line, getting the batteries, all of this. And now the girl is just roaming about, you know, by herself. So, I mean, they are good parents because this is a lot to deal with. But, you know, some things can be avoided.
Yep.
So Dad talks to her about fixing her hearing aid, and she gets very upset about it. Right?
She tells him to stop.
Yeah.
It's not working.
It's not working. It never works. And I guess, you know, you get tired of getting your hopes up. So she's like over it. And then we see the dad trying to take the son.
Yeah. So it looks like the dad wants to take the son on some kind of a Boy Scout trip somewhere to teach him some life lessons. Because the boy does seem to be a little soft. And he does not want to go.
He don't want to go.
And the daughter comes up and she says, I'll go. And the dad says, nah, you go ahead and stay here and help your mom. With what? We don't know.
Right.
But you stay here and help your mom while we go out and do manly stuff.
Exactly. That's kind of what it sounded like too, right? You gotta go do some housework while we go out and forage and hunt.
Yep.
So she's all upset about, you know, not being able to go with Dad. And so she starts packing a bag like she's about to run away.
Yep.
My question is, where
you going?
Where? How bad does your home life have to be
for you to be deaf and want to go out into a world of sound killing machines?
Right. With monsters. I mean, I'm going to be mad, but you know, I'm going to stay here. I'm going to play Monopoly. I'm going to eat my dinner off these leaf plates.
That's right, because y'all protected me thus far.
Yeah, I'm not going out here by myself because you mad. You got monsters outside. That don't even make no kind of sense. So, that's what Little Bit is doing. And so then we see her walking off by herself again. That's one of the themes of the movie. The kids just doing what they want to do. And so she's just walking off, and we see her go to her brother's memorial.
Yep. So now we go to the river where we see the dad and the son, and we don't really know what they're up to at first. And then the father starts, I guess, getting a fish out of a trap. And so he's caught dinner. I don't know exactly what he's doing when he turns around to the boy and the boy starts to run off. I don't remember.
He starts what?
He turns around to the boy with the fish and the boy runs off.
Oh, I think he made some noise and the boy got scared.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't quite catch that.
Yeah. I think he made some noise and the boy got scared, and that's when the dad starts telling him the lake or the river is loud. The river
is loud enough to cover our sounds.
Yeah. Yeah. Boy was going to leave daddy. Okay?
Oh, yeah. That boy's terrified. That's some of the best terrified kid acting I've ever seen.
He was like, Dad, you have to fend for yourself because I'm out of here. So, yeah, Dad is out there teaching him, and I think that's why he wants the boy to go, but the girl needs to know too, I think.
True.
I agree. He wants them to know how to take care of themselves just in case, you know. So he's teaching the boy how to do this, catch these fish, you know, where to go and how to, you know, all of that kind of stuff. So, and so back at the house, you know, we see Mom doing laundry. And my question is, again, where's the girl? Because Dad just said you need to stay at home
to help Mama,
so you can help Mama.
And ain't nobody out there helping Mama.
Mama way pregnant. She due in a couple weeks, and she doing laundry. Trekking up these stairs. All that. It don't make sense. So, because ain't no way. You know, I would have been in. My mama would have had me. Our mama would have had us in there, right?
Sure enough.
Okay. Somebody. And she probably wouldn't have even been in there at all. It would have just been us two.
That's right. Y'all better get that laundry down.
So she in there doing the laundry and going up the steps, and her bag gets snagged, right?
Mm-hmm.
And she's pulling, pull it free.
Doesn't look down to see what the bag is snagged on.
You
Doesn't try to unsnag it. She just pulls and pulls and pulls
until it frees itself.
Doesn't make any sense.
And never looks, like you
never
said,
looks
to see what it got caught on.
Exactly.
Okay, I'm glad I'm not the only one.
I would have looked. Oh, what is this snagged on?
Of course.
Oh, look at this nail here. Somebody.
You.
Oh gosh, let me fix this.
See, that makes common sense.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't make sense that she didn't even look at it.
Right, but she pregnant, and that ain't common sense either.
Well, that's true. That's true. So now there's a nail sticking up in the stair. So
we know it. She don't know it.
She has no clue.
Mm-hmm.
So accident waiting to happen.
Yep. So we cut back to the river. The fellas just hanging out, you know. And we have a heartfelt moment between father and son. And the son wants to know why he didn't let the daughter come. Is that right?
Yeah. And he says, you know, is it because you blame her?
Right.
For what happened?
And the father says it's nobody's fault.
Yeah.
Nobody's to blame.
Yeah. He's like, no. Of course, it's not her fault. I don't blame her.
And the son says, do you still love her?
Yep.
And he says, of course. And the son says, well, you should tell her.
Mm-hmm. Because he says she blames herself.
Yes.
So,
which is understandable.
Yeah, you know, but she's a kid. It's not her fault. It's those parents who were at the front of the line.
Right.
And it's sad that, you know, they say let the children lead them, you know, because he has to tell his father that she feels like he doesn't love her.
Right.
And there are scenes throughout the movie where you can tell that's true. She really does feel that way.
Right. Yeah. She feels like the odd man out at this point.
Yeah.
Yep. So they leave the river and they are walking through the woods back home. And we get a shot of the little boy walking behind his father. And as he's walking, you see an old man to the side of him. But the boy doesn't notice. I guess the father doesn't notice at that time either. But then he stops walking and the boy runs into the back of him. And they look over and there's an old man standing in the woods. And he looks
weird.
Yes. And then we look down on the ground and we see an old lady with her guts hanging out.
Yep.
So this appears to be the old man's wife, woman, girlfriend, whoever. And he is distraught. And it looks like he's contemplating suicide by monster. So
exactly.
The father looks at him and he's telling him, be quiet, man. Don't do it.
Right.
I got my boy here.
Yep.
Like we can read all of this in his sign language. I got my boy here. I don't want no trouble.
Right.
I don't want these monsters after us. And the old man does not care. And selfish. And screams his head off. And the father picks the boy up, which this man is strong.
Yeah.
The father picks the boy up and takes off running because he knows what's coming. And you start to hear the monster in the woods. And I guess when they get far enough away, the father stops and kind of hides.
Yeah.
And
he's like holding the boy's face, trying to make sure he doesn't scream or cry out. You know.
Telling him to be quiet as well.
Yeah.
And old man gets taken out.
And so I had a thought, like, So was this really accidental? Did they just make noise and it get her and not him? Or did they both go out here to commit suicide?
Oh, that's a good point. I didn't think about that. I just thought maybe she tripped and
Right.
made a sound, or
it's possible. It could be either, you know.
Yeah.
But I was really wondering, like, because he was just so ready. I mean, I know you just lost your loved one. He was just ready to go. But how selfish of you. You couldn't wait 10 minutes to let them get by?
Yep.
Some people, I tell you. People. So now we're back at the house. Mom is walking and her water breaks. And so she's all by herself. Nobody's there. Daughter is still out and about.
Her helpmate, gone.
She's supposed to be there helping her mama. And her water breaks. So now she's heading back down to the basement. And I'm at home. I'm anxious. Because this know.
Is intense.
Right. Like we know she got to get down these stairs with her pregnant self. And there's a nail in the step. So we just like, okay.
This is it.
And so mom heads down the stairs. And of course, she steps directly on the nail.
On that nail. Drops whatever she's holding in her hand. Seems to be a glass. So you know it's loud.
Loud. She manages not to scream out. But, you know, again, we don't understand why she didn't check when her laundry bag got hung. But, okay, that's neither here nor there. But this could have been avoided. So now there's a monster in the house. Her water broke. She in pain. She having contractions.
Her foot is stuck on a nail.
She's trying to pull it up and get somewhere and hide from the monster. So the dad and the son, they make it home and they see the signal that mom has turned on. They have all these lights outside. So I guess to let you know when a monster has come to the house. And so he sees the signal and he takes off running towards the house.
But he tells the son, before he takes off, he tells the son that he needs to make a sound that's loud.
Yep.
To keep the monsters from eating up the mom.
Right. Right. So they have a whole system set up to where he can go do something.
Right.
But, so the mom gets in the bathtub and she's trying to have this baby silently. And there's a scene like,
and there's 2 monsters in the house. See? Not 1 but 2.
And there's a part, it looked like she even trying to hold the baby in at some point. Like you can wait a little bit now. Come on. So mama is struggling in the tub. And so we see the boy. They flash back to the boy outside. And he goes and hits the button or whatever. And all these fireworks start going off. And so the creatures leave the house to go after the sound.
And the mom takes that opportunity to scream because she is in labor pains.
Right. And so who else sees the fireworks? The daughter. Yep. The runaway. And so she out here chilling.
Living her best life.
Out here by herself at her brother's memorial. But she sees the fireworks go off and she jumps up and runs home. And so again, I'm always amazed about them running places though.
Yeah.
Those footsteps have noise.
They sure do. So, shoes or not, they gonna make a noise.
Yeah. So she running to the house now. And so now we see the husband. He's got a shotgun. He's going through the house looking for his wife and finds a bathtub full of blood. And breaks down.
Yep. Because he thinks the monster's got her.
And then they have this scene and her bloody hand hits the shower door. Scaring us.
Right.
But letting him know she's still alive.
Yep.
And so
with a baby in her
with a baby.
arms.
She done had the baby, okay? That was intense.
Yeah. Yep. So now we get to see how strong the dad really is, because now he's carrying mom and baby down to some secret hidey hole in the ground that appears to be somewhat soundproof, I guess.
Yeah.
And as he is covering the hidey hole with a mattress, we see a monster hot on his tail.
Mm-hmm.
But of course, he makes it just in the nick of time. So then we go back to the kids, who are just doing their own thing off in the woods. The son has just set off the fireworks, and he appears to be running from one of the monsters.
Yeah.
And boom, he runs into something that knocks him clean out.
So he's running into the cornfield, and he hits like a tractor. Like he runs right into the wheel.
Boom.
Passes out.
Yep.
And thankfully, I guess that keeps him from making any noise. So the thing can't find him. But he had a flashlight on him. So the flashlight is bright, and so the girl is coming back home, and she sees this light in the cornfield, so she's looking like, what is this,
Yep.
And so
she stumbles upon her brother.
Yeah.
But lo and behold, a monster is hot on her heels behind her. But as it gets closer, there's some kind of interference between her hearing aid and the monster's hearing aid. I don't know what else to call it.
Sonar, I'm calling it.
And so the monster starts acting real funky and runs off because of that sound.
And the girl has no clue that the monster was even there.
She was just about to get ate up.
And she's just fussing with her hearing aid because it's bothering her too, So then she, she follows the light into the cornfield, and she finds her brother and gets him up. And then they go try to, find a place
to hide.
Yeah.
And they end up on the top of a silo that has all these beans or something.
I think it's corn.
Is it corn? Yeah. Okay. A corn silo that they end up on the top of. Just chilling.
Waiting for Dad, because he's saying, Dad is going to come get us. And she's like, no, he ain't. She really don't think your daddy care about her, especially. I think she's like, he might come for you, but he ain't coming for me.
He got a new baby.
See, and back to the baby. So this scene too, when they go, he takes him down into the basement. We see Dad put an oxygen mask
over the baby's
on the
face.
baby, and put the baby in a little box, a little bassinet in a box, and put a lid on it.
And see, I think when I saw this, I didn't think it was just oxygen. I thought maybe it was something to put the baby to sleep, to keep him quiet.
Now see, I didn't think of that. I mean, it's a possibility. I was just thinking, baby got to breathe in this box.
That's true. That's true.
Oxygen on him.
How you gonna keep him quiet?
I think because the room itself is supposed to be kind of insulated. It can't be too soundproof with that mattress over the hole.
Right, exactly. Yep.
But it's somewhat soundproof, and the basket itself, with the lid, is gonna help with the noise too.
Yeah.
So,
but babies are loud.
Babies are very loud. So they should have thought of that while they were having a good time.
Exactly. How you having a good time in this apocalypse?
These
monsters are killing people over the tiniest sounds, and you off procreating.
They helping them make it baby. They said might as well have a little fun while we it's hard out here. So we're back in the house with Mom and Dad, and Mom wakes up, after passing out after having the baby, And first thing she wants to know is where the children are. And Dad says, we'll find them. And, my thought is, daddies are not like mommies. Because the first thing she think of when she wake up is, where are my children? Mm-hmm. And Daddy could have been out looking for the children. Mm-hmm. But,
He's like, I don't know. They around. They all right.
Yeah, they're somewhere. Mm-hmm. He they know how to hide and stuff like that. So, but I think this is the first scene where we actually hear the mom's voice, because she's always doing sign language. Mm-hmm. And so Mom starts talking about how, she should have been holding the baby on that day.
On day 89.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. She thinks she could have saved him, and she blames herself. Mm-hmm. Which is sad, but it's also understandable, because what we've been talking about, like, right? She didn't have to be holding him necessarily, but you need to see him.
Mm-hmm. See what he's doing. He put back there putting batteries,
right,
in toys.
See, they got the batteries in the toy and all this stuff, So, so it's understandable that she blamed herself, but I feel bad for her because, it's not her fault, even though she's somewhat responsible. Right. But it's not her fault that, there's monsters on the loose.
Right.
So, and she says, who are we if we can't protect them? Mm-hmm. And then she says to him, you have to protect them. Yep. Promise me you will.
Yeah.
And so, Dad is looking like, okay, he heard Mama. So,
yep.
So now we're going back to the kids
at the silo.
Right, at the silo. And they're trying to start a fire, but it burns out. Mm-hmm. Trying to set off a signal so that Dad can know where they are. And so when Dad goes to look for them, he didn't even notice that the pipes had burst in the house. Mm-hmm. So he's leaving the house and there's water running. And so water is flooding the basement.
With the mama and the baby.
So Mom had, I think she had fell back to sleep. So she wakes up and there's a monster in the basement.
Now, how does monster get down in this basement, y'all?
I'm guessing he took the mattress off or fell through the mattress. I don't know. Because that's the only opening that we know of.
Yeah, but he blind. How you know the mattress there?
He could have just stepped. My thought is he could have stepped on it and fell through. Now, that don't mean that's what happened. We don't know, because
that's true.
They don't tell us. Because I was thinking the mattress is not a good enough protection.
Yeah, that's true.
And so the basement is flooding. There's a monster
by the baby, and the baby is cooling.
The baby is cooling. So thankfully, the water is it's like a waterfall rushing off one area, and so it is loud. Mm-hmm. So that's helping to save the baby. So Mommy is getting up out the bed.
Mommy is brave.
Mama's a soldier. I will say that. She is going for the baby. Mm-hmm. She probably like, I'm not going to lose another baby.
Okay? That's true.
But my thought was, I understand. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, I might be a little cold. I don't know. But I was like, but you got 2 other babies that you got to take care of too.
Yeah.
Now, if this monster gets you, what's going to happen to your other children? Why are you trying to save this baby? And, true. I understand, mm-hmm. I was just like, I don't know. I can't tell you what to do now. It's a tough situation.
Very.
But she goes over to the baby.
Picks him up.
She picks him up. And then we see the monster go under the water. I said, this thing is swimming. Now he's swimming. He under the water.
Under the water. She can't see nothing.
She can't see him. So she pick up the baby and hold him to her chest, and she start backing up. The monster get up by the bassinet. I thought he was gonna swipe it, but he didn't. And then she go under the little waterfall kind of to try to hide.
Yep.
Woo!
Intense. All right, so the kids are at the silo and apparently making too much noise. So the monster that's in the flooded basement it runs off, and the mom and the baby are safe.
Mm-hmm.
We go back to the silo, and the boy has fallen into the corn and is drowning in corn.
Mm.
What a way to go. The daughter doesn't realize at first that he's missing, and she turns around and sees him drowning in the corn, and she jumps in to save him.
Mm-hmm.
And then she starts drowning in the corn.
Yep. Well, she heavier than him, so.
Right. And somehow they make it.
Well, that door that fell in there too.
They reach for it.
Yeah. That helped them stabilize.
Like at the end of Titanic.
Exactly.
They floating on corn like she was floating in the water.
That's so true.
But they're making so much noise in this corn that a monster jumps into the silo with them.
Yep.
And they use the door to cover themselves. But these monsters are strong. And the monster pierces the door and just happens to miss one of the kids because, of course, blessed. Movie magic. Yes, they're blessed. And the daughter's hearing aid starts to interfere once again.
Yeah.
And the monster does his little weird thing, glitchy, whatever.
Yeah.
And takes off.
So they saved once again by hearing aid.
Once again. So the dad catches up with the kids, and there's a monster nearby. So he tells them to go hide out in an old abandoned truck that's nearby. The monster is lurking, and the dad is looking for weapons that he can use to fight the monster. So he comes out with there's
some tools that were like leaning on the house or something.
Okay. And of course it doesn't look like much.
Mm-hmm.
And the monster is on the roof of whatever shed he is inside. So he walks out and he takes a swipe at the monster. And the monster takes a bigger swipe at him.
Mm-hmm.
And he flies several feet away.
Yeah.
And at this point, we don't know what's about to happen.
Dad is out.
Dad is out for the count, and the kids are hiding in the truck.
But the boy screamed.
The boy screamed when this dad got swiped, and we all Dad! And we all know these monsters are looking for sound.
Yep.
Looking for sound. Looking for blood. So the monster goes towards the truck.
Yep.
He like, I heard something over here.
Mm-hmm.
Where y'all at? And he starts beating the crap out of this truck.
Yep.
And the dad is laying on the ground trying to get his wits about him. And he gets up, and you see that his insides are on the outside. He is basically like that woman they saw in the woods, but he's still alive. And he is standing there thinking, what am I going to do to save these kids?
Yeah.
And he realizes he only has one option. So
but does he though? But, okay.
He looks at his daughter because she's staring at him through the window as this alien monster is beating this truck up.
Mm-hmm.
And he tells her, I love you.
Yeah,
I have always loved you. And she is looking like, oh, he's about to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And what does he do?
He screamed at the top of his lungs.
Just like the old man in the woods.
And the monster goes for him.
Takes him out. So sad.
Not the daddy.
I almost cried.
We need the daddy.
We need him.
How? So I was like, sir, you couldn't have picked up one of them shovels and threw it or something to distract it to go somewhere else. Like, that was the only thing you could think of.
But maybe he knew, man, I'm already dead. Look at my stomach.
Oh.
The thing already took my guts out. So he may have already thought, I'm already dead. So might as well save these kids the best way I know how.
I didn't think of that.
Yeah, I don't know though.
Yeah.
But
that's a possibility.
Yeah, my wife just told me Said, I gotta protect these kids.
She said, protect those kids.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing about yourself.
Nothing
Now
about
listen.
yourself. He said, I got this, wife.
Yeah. He took his orders
seriously
to heart.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Like, my wife told me to protect these kids. That's what I'm gonna do.
Mm-hmm.
And he did that.
Hold my beer. And out he goes. And she saw it all on the screen.
Oh, she
back
saw
at
it.
the house.
The whole family see their daddy get killed by this monster.
Mm-hmm.
It was very similar to them seeing the boy get snatched, you know?
Yep.
Again.
Yep.
That's what I said. Is this life worth, is it worth it?
Mm-mm.
Because
don't take me.
I'm saying it's too much.
Mm-hmm.
Oof. So, daddy gone now.
Gone. R.I.P. So, after the father sacrifices himself, we fast forward to the morning, and the mom is standing outside the house looking for her kids. And in the distance, we see a truck, the old abandoned truck.
Was it the morning?
I'm pretty sure it was daytime.
Okay. That was the only thing I was... Okay.
We see the truck coming down a hill towards the house. And I know we're all wondering, why aren't these monsters chasing this truck? Because you know it ain't quiet.
You know it.
Even if it ain't on and it's just driving on its own.
Right.
And with momentum.
Yeah.
You know it's still making noise.
Whatever, yeah.
Come on now, y'all. Mm-hmm. But anyway, the kids make it to the house safe and sound, and they run to their mom, and they hug. They're all sad. And they go back into the house and down into the basement.
And let me just say this. Why is the nail still sticking up? Sorry. That made me upset. Anyway. But they go back down into the basement, and the girl is looking around. She's looking at, all these hearing aids that her dad had, made before or worked on to try to get her hearing back. And there's all these notes that he's written, and one of them says, "What is its weakness?" Mm-hmm. And so she starts thinking about, her hearing aids, and I think, could that possibly be, part of the reason why, like, it left them alone at the silo? Because they don't have any, real explanation for that. But she may be coming to the thought of, my hearing aids were going off, and it ran off. So
now I wish they had shown her thinking through this. Yeah, like shown her thought process. Yeah. Because for me, it's a little unreal.
I agree.
For her to all of a sudden be like, oh, they don't like my hearing aids.
Especially when we just had this whole scene in the truck where it's tearing up the truck, and she had turned her hearing aid off because it was bothering her. Yep. I mean, because if you think about it, if she had realized it, some hours before, she could have saved her father. Right. Yeah. Yep. So it's pretty sad. Yep. So she decides to try it because this creature has come down in the basement with them. And so she turns on the hearing aid, and it starts screeching, and the monster starts going crazy. Mm-hmm. And so then she even takes it off and puts it up against a microphone. Yep. And then it really, loses it to the point where it just falls out on the floor. Right. And we think it's dead. Yeah. But it ain't. Mm-mm. It gets back up just like Jason. Just like Michael Myers, just like Freddy Krueger. When she turns the sound off, it gets up.
And what does the mom do?
So when he gets up, his head is like open. Like, he has all these plates that like open his up armor. And stuff. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so when it's open, mom shoots it in the head. Yeah. That's it. And so I didn't realize that they couldn't just shoot him, with their armor. They needed to find a sensitive spot, I guess. Yeah. And so that was one of the reasons why, I guess, and which makes sense because, maybe the army could have took him out or something if just regular bullets or whatever could have just killed him, but that wasn't the case. So the girl has figured out how to pretty much kill the monsters. Mm-hmm. And so mom shoots them, and of course it's loud sound from the shotgun. draws more creatures. So you just see creatures running to the house.
Yep.
But mom and daughter, they look at each other like, oh, we got this. Right, we got this. And then the movie goes off. So
movie goes off. So
this is a good one,
really good.
Yeah. Of course, we got some flaws in there because just like Amanda was saying with how she all of a sudden figure out about the hearing aids, the nail and the stare, like you're not gonna check and see why your stuff's snagged.
Right.
Y'all just gonna let the kids do whatever, and the deaf girl never gets, gotten, even though she can't hear the noise that she makes. Yep. So there's a lot of things in there you're like, but it's still awesome.
Yeah, completely.
It's great. And I do not I don't watch horror movies. So, we want y'all to suggest some movies for us to talk about later. I don't watch horror movies, but to me, this is more of a thriller because there's no gore. There's no, even though they're getting killed or whatever, you don't see it happening. You don't really, it's not a lot of blood and guts and all of that stuff. So, so this is a great one for me. I consider it a thriller. I do love a good alien, what is it? Encounter or alien takeover.
Yeah.
All of that stuff. So this is right up my alley.
Oh yeah. This is great.
So we got the second one coming up. And then y'all know the new one, the prequel.
The third one.
Yeah, the prequel is coming out.
Yep.
And so we're gonna be talking about all of those. So stay tuned for more.
Sisters at the Cinema.
Yes. Stay tuned. Thank y'all for listening.